Us now from where the South African National Editors Forum is holding a gathering, and that's where President Cyril Ramaphosa was expected to speak. Kaya, take us through what is happening right now.
Voya, I can tell you this much, the official proceedings just got underway, and by all accounts it's quite a very important day to reflect into 1977 and the very devastating impact it had back then. But now fast forward into a democratic dispensation. How is the media fraternity able to operate? And of course there are some challenges. So once again, today it's just one of those moments to look back, but also looking in the contemporary South Africa as to what can we do to try to make sure that journalists are able to report freely and fairly. And joining us now, Voya, is Dr. Well, actually, she's a professor at VETS. That's Dr. Glenda Daniels, but also she's part of SANEF's diversity and, of course, many other structures there at SANEF. Really quite a huge job there. So, Prof, thank you so much indeed for joining us at this point.
Thank you for having me.
And Prof, as we just reflect into 1977 and also looking at the challenges that we have as the media in South Africa in 2018, so what are some of the lessons that we can draw in making sure that we don't abuse the privilege that we have?
Well, I don't know if it's about abusing the privilege that we have. We have a huge privilege, we have a huge responsibility to be ethical and to let the publics out there get the right information. But what happened in 1977 must never happen in South Africa again, and I don't think anything as obscene and as gross as those violations of our human rights in our constitution, for instance, would ever be that abused when 19 black consciousness organizations were banned 1 month after the death of our hero Steve Biko, black consciousness hero, and 19 organizations were banned, 3 newspapers were shut down, and editors Don Matera and Matata Tsedu and Joe Chloe were all put into detention. They were tortured and they were released later and slapped with 5-year banning orders. And this is the reason why today is such an important day for us as SANEF and as all media freedom activists in the world, because we never ever want that to happen to us ever again.
And also, Prof, looking at the current challenges facing the media fraternity, the issue of the generalization of the newsroom, the issue, quite an array of challenges that we have. So what can we do? Just in a democratic South Africa, we have Section 16 now guaranteeing the freedom of speech and, just for the media fraternity to operate without any obstacles whatsoever. So with such days like this, I would imagine that it's a day to look at the successes, the failures as well.
Look, the successes are that we actually have a huge amount of freedom of expression in this country. We have investigative journalists that do their job, and mostly do their job well. And we've had corruption that's been blown out of the water. The challenges that we face are actually the fact that newsrooms are being shrunk, badly shrunk. We've had closures of newspapers, we've had closures of online papers like the Huffington Post, we've had closures of television stations, and we've had retrenchments like you can't believe, like a tsunami, I call it. And most of those journalists who've been retrenched have been senior journalists, so we've lost a lot of experience, context, and we've lost a lot of sub-editors. So that has an impact on journalism itself. We have competition with social media, and we have people telling us out there that we can't compete with social media, yet we have editors telling us that we have to keep up with social media. So those are the huge challenges. We have Facebook and Google and Twitter having taken 50% of the marketing share of advertising, so we've had a decline in revenue. And that's caused a whole lot of problems for the newspaper industry, for the whole media industry, actually.
And just before I let you go, Prof, in the interest of time, the issue of the glass ceiling in the newsrooms. We know that just a short while ago there was a book launch and comprehensively delving into this particular challenge.
Yes. So the challenge in the glass ceilings, we find that women have reached an equal number of women and men. So gender-wise, we've reached equality. But what the big challenge is the patriarchal norms and values in the newsroom and the bullying that women have to experience, the undermining that they go through, the sexual harassment that's still there, in the field, out there when they're reporting, and in the newsroom itself. So it seems like there's also a feminist backlash against women. So as women have risen in numbers, there's a feminist backlash. And by that I mean women have had to experience the difficulties of men now feeling insecure. Another thing which is new in the latest glass ceiling is cyber misogyny. Cyber misogyny is hatred of women, where women are being trolled by bots. Another thing we've discovered that's new is the fact that there's a widening wage gap between men and women. So instead of a wage gap decreasing, where women are earning the same as men of equal experience, we find that 10 years later it's increased from 17% to 23%. That's very concerning, and that's certainly an issue that SANEV should take up as an issue.
All right, Prof, in the interest of time, we're just going to leave it there. So, by all accounts, Vuyo, it's a plethora of issues confronting the media in South Africa, and it's that, you know, the whole sector across the globe. But, of course, we know that the president was supposed to come, but due to ill health, he's not around here. But somebody who's going to deliver a keynote address will be Bonang Mohale, and we know he's the CEO of business leadership here in South Africa. So back to you, Vuyo.
Thanks, Kaya. Kaya Lihle Kumalo at that SANEF function to mark Black Wednesday.